Eyewitness News update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angela Storr, live in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Currently, it's 32 degrees. In the news this hour, state officials and Northwest Airlines have at last come to terms on a $744 million financing plan that would mean the construction of 2 Airbus maintenance facilities in Duluth and Hibbing. The deal still needs approval from 3 governmental agencies. Please join us for more news later.
It's Good Company with your host, the husband and wife team, Steve and Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, today we meet the weatherman.
That's right. I don't know. Did either of these guys predict 28 inches last week? I don't know. They said there's a big one coming.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they did or not.
But the question, I've got to talk about the question you're going to ask them. I
What?
love that question.
What?
Do people watch the weather because of the personality of the weatherman, or they want accuracy more? Which
I
is
don't know.
more
What do you
important?
think? Personality or accuracy?
Personality, let's see it.
Yeah?
Accuracy.
Oh, about half
Don't
and
know
half.
and don't care.
Well, Paul Douglas is here from KARE-TV and our own Dave Dahl from KSTP, and we're going to find out about these guys, find out a little bit about their own lives away from the camera, and also some funny experiences they've had when they've been behind the camera.
Also, we're going to look at the latest in age spot and freckle removal, and we'll show you how the lasers work to do it.
And we're going to meet the couples who want to be hosts for a day. You get a chance to vote for your favorite.
Accidents can happen.
That's exactly right.
Cheers, Dahl.
Cheers. Oh.
And this is Mike Brunswick. Later in the show, I will be profiling a woman who actually volunteered to go to Saudi Arabia. On this Veterans Day, we are celebrating a whole new breed of war vets, those who participated in Desert Storm.
And I'll give you a preview look at the annual Dayton's 8th Floor Auditorium Holiday Special Show. This year, it's Pinochio. Over my shoulder, you can see one of the vignettes, one of the little stories that tells the story of the little wooden puppet boy who wanted to be a real boy. And it is done in all the animation and all the wonderful special effects that make the Dayton's 8th Floor Auditorium show what it has always been every year. Tell you more about Pinochio and what happens to him later in our show.
All right, Gary. You know, we see the weathermen on the news every night, but don't you wonder what they're really like? You don't get an opportunity to flesh out what are their lives like. Are they married? Do they have kids? What do they really care about?
I think they have a chance to show a lot of personality on the air, whereas the news people don't have quite as much time, quite as much freedom, I think, as the weather people do.
But we have some surprises for you. Would you welcome, please, Dave Dahl and Paul Douglas. Your question.
So what is the answer to that? Do you think people tune in for accuracy or personality in their weather people?
I think it's because of our soft, manageable hair.
That's part of it.
I think a little bit of both. I think personality, and of course it helps if the forecast is right.
Yeah, accuracy is the foundation, but when you get right down to it, Dave and I are storytellers.
Yeah.
And it's our job to... Yeah.
Okay, we are. Yeah.
I mean,
especially that last snowstorm,
right?
That's right.
That was a big storm.
That was 2 to 4 to 8 to 10 to 25 to 30.
Yeah.
That's funny. We want to kind of roll the clock back a little bit and take a look when you guys were just young people. We have some great pictures. Why don't we take a look? I think Dave, I think we're starting out with you. How old, Dave? Where were you born? Where are you from?
I was born in Minneapolis, and actually Circle Pines is where I grew up. So I think that's Circle Pines Sink there. Yeah, that's me on my first day in kindergarten.
You said, yeah, it's cold out there.
Yeah, that's me with glasses.
Whoa.
All American boy.
Bangs. Oh, yuck.
Ooh,
and sideburns.
That's graduation. That's my graduation.
Were you cool in high school?
No.
No.
I was a nerd, basically, and there it is, nerd. I don't know where, no, that's up
Is that you with the shirt on?
Yeah.
Some people don't know that he is a super jock.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's,
okay.
yeah, and that's our homeless
That's your
dreams.
home?
Yeah, no, yeah. Igloo, homeless dreams, and it's named Wind Chill, and that's my new wife, March 1st, Kathy, and we were on our honeymoon cruise.
You get kidded about Kathy a lot. Like, oh, there she is again.
There she is again. Yeah, she's the one with the, yeah.
With the great legs, yeah.
She is how old?
17? No, 27.
27, and you are?
And I'm, yeah, 37.
37. Now, how is that age difference? Some people say that's too big a gap.
She is such a sweetheart. It's not a big gap at all. I act like she does. No, she acts like I do. No, we basically do the same things together, so it's great.
And Paul, you're the Eagle Scout who grew up in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah, I have my weather merit badge.
You do?
So, yeah.
Let's go back with you to a few pictures.
Must we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which one are you? The one on the right?
I'm the guy on the left.
Oh, the
That's
left.
Kent, my brother, on the right, who's 3 years younger than I am, living in West Germany right now. That's me on the right at a, what is that, sixth birthday party?
You've done everything outdoors all these years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the outdoors. Oh.
No.
So you wear contact lenses.
Yeah, I had glasses at one point, hair down to my shoulders, too.
Do you remember what it felt like
to
to look like that?
Huh?
Do you remember what it felt like to look like that?
It felt pretty awful, Sharon. Thanks for rehashing this. Yeah,
Eagle Scout.
The Eagle Scout, I guess I was, what, about 15 there, and Dad said, and God bless Dad, he said, someday, he said, you'll look back on these pictures at your hair, and you're going to be very embarrassed. and he was right. And the ultimate backyard shot here, right? Kind of a fantasy to be up in the space shuttle and to see the weather from that altitude. But this, again, is the Homeless Dreams project.
You know, it's funny. You wouldn't think that you two get put in dangerous situations. You know, Dave really has. I mean, he's out there with bulls and all kinds of strange stuff.
In the backyard.
And in the backyard, you've had some weird things.
Cujos that he's at in the backyard.
We have to show you getting hit in the head. We'll show you that a little bit. Let's start out with Dave. We have some funny video from Dave. For example, here at Channel 5, he sometimes has to perform with weird things like that bull. What was that about?
That bull was a scary thing. Watch this now.
And that barometric pressure is currently on the rise, but that should start to fall as that low pressure system moves in our direction. This is live.
Moving guy.
And then there's the time we asked you to perform for Good Company at the circus for real on the trapeze. Remember this one?
It's the last time I'm going to do anything for you guys.
Jeez. Oh. You know, that could have been a disaster. You really hit that fast.
Yes, you hear the bleep
That's
there?
what we bleeped out.
And then there was a time you were supposed to water ski and do the weather.
Here's the forecast. A locally heavy rainfall. Low should be 68 to 72. And here we go. I'm going to try it.
What you're doing here. You got this. Watch. That was terrific. Watch. Yeah.
Yeah, watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
Oh,
yeah. Hurry.
That was scary.
Paul, you don't seem to do anything quite as hazardous as those.
Not quite as that, no.
Let's go back to some of your earlier days on the air as well, and you can tell us what's going on here. Now, you started in Pennsylvania?
In Pennsylvania. This is the backyard in beautiful Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
So backyards have been going on for years.
Yeah. This is back in, like, 1980, and they aimed a camera out a garage window, and they made me stand out there. Oh,
and you ended up on Nightline.
Yeah,
with
how'd
Ted
you get on
Koppel?
Nightline?
I was working for a cable news network called Satellite News Channel, which was half owned by ABC. And they came to me for some weather blurbs every now and then. What on earth? See, this is what they don't teach you, Dave. This is what they don't teach you in college. Snakes and... look at that. I don't know what the heck that was. Okay, this was our penguin.
Como.
Perry
Como,
from Como Zoo. You're absolutely right.
Oh,
this is great.
I love this.
This is a great one.
Now listen carefully, folks. Listen. I could have been killed.
Oh, the look on your face.
The anchors didn't even see it, too. They're there yapping back and forth. I'm out there seeing stars.
That is funny.
It's a hazardous profession.
You have decided to diversify. You're kind of a conglomerate in business, aren't you? Now, why is that?
I really enjoy the weather, and I think there are opportunities to make money from weather.
You wrote a book.
Wrote a book, Prairie Skies, which is through Voyager Press out in Stillwater.
You're on the radio in the morning. Of course, Dave, you are too.
Total Weather is a private consulting service. We have about 60 clients in Minnesota that need more specified weather information. And Earthwatch is 3D weather software for television, for the military, for commercial aviation.
And I read that that means you work like 70-hour weeks. Is that right?
It's about right.
How about you, Dave? How many hours a week?
About 13, 14. No.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
With the morning radio, I think it comes out to be about 50, something like
50.
that.
Do you compile your own forecast and your own on-air business?
You can tell they're completely different if you're watching his channel and my channel.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, viewers can, well, yeah. I mean, they can pick and choose.
I mean, do you know what percentage of the time you guys agree? Do you ever track that?
Well, we're right most of the time, aren't we, Dave?
Yeah, but we're different. How do we do that?
I'm not. Right. We forecast for different parts of the metro area.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm the north.
Yeah, I'm out in Mound and that area.
I'm up on the north side.
There can be big variations.
We have more surprises, too. We talked to some of your co-workers, and we're going to see what they think about you two right after this. Stay with us.
What's the difference between Chi-Chi's and the other leading salsas? Simple. This is where our salsa recipe came from. While we suspect the other leading salsas came from someplace like this.
Gentlemen, shall we manufacture salsa or oven mitts?
So don't be surprised if ours seems to capture the real Mexican flavor. Bring home Chi-Chi's, salsa that came from a restaurant, not a boardroom.
Behind a microphone, or behind a control panel, on camera, or on the scene. Brown Institute graduates work at just about every radio and TV station in the Twin Cities. If you want to train to get into broadcasting, get on the phone right now. Call National Education Center's Brown Institute campus at 1-800-722-7337 for this brochure on broadcast career training. 1-800-722-7337. Call now.
In the 80s, Oldsmobile was the best-selling family car in the Twin Cities.
We're gonna keep that record in the 90s with great deals on the Cutlass Sierra. Get room for 6, a V6 engine, air conditioning, and much, much more. All this for a little over $13,000.
If you want a great deal on a new Oldsmobile, buy it from me.
Wally McCarthy's Oldsmobile, Richfield, and Roseville.
Here, I want to show you something. Come on, it's about your furniture. Here's a typical chair. The way it looks before Park begins custom fitting your new upholstery. See this piece of webbing? It should be replaced, so Park does it. These springs, Park automatically reties them. At Park, we take pride in what we do, so you'll be proud of what you get. Join thousands of satisfied Park customers during our famous 20% off sale. Call today for a home appointment. You'll be glad you did.
I'll tell you some little-known facts about Paul Douglas, not necessarily humorous, but little-known facts. Number one is he is, in fact, an Eagle Scout. He, well, I just edited the thought out, but he also has a very, very large baseball card collection, which not many people know. And also this, which is, I think, perhaps only known by me, that when he was in high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Lancaster, as they say, in Pennsylvania, he worked at McDonald's, and his nickname was Credence Perry Crudilfer.
There's only really one thing that I've heard about Dave since I've gotten here, and I don't really know what it means. But ask Dave while you have him out there on the set about the great perm disaster of '89. I don't know if we have pictures, but I think it's worth talking about.
All right, we're back with meteorologist Dave Dahl and Paul Douglas. And what about this perm?
Perm, the great perm disaster. I don't know if I should say this, but management, I think, asked me to do a little change because my hair was getting outdated, kind of like, you know, both of ours.
My hair, too, yeah.
Ours was getting a little bit outdated.
Okay.
And so either cut it, do something with it. And
how'd you feel about that when they said maybe you should change? Were you okay with that?
Yeah, I was fine. I was fine for a time. And then after I did it, I didn't like the change.
Because it was
Nobody
a perm.
did. It was a perm. It was very, the nice thing about it, I have very fine hair. It's very hard to do anything with. So I thought, this is great. All I have to do is pat it dry after I get done with the shower, and it'd be ready to go. But it didn't work out that way. It looked like a bunch of bed springs. You know?
Paul, you want to talk hair?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Sure, I'll be honest. You know, I've become somewhat desensitized to the whole subject of hair. But I've had a transplant, a hair transplant. Everything else is original, okay? The nose is mine, the cheeks, but they kind of rearranged the hair, and it's a cosmetic business, you know. If we were just in radio, which has a nice romantic appeal some days, just in radio, they don't care what you look like.
Especially in the mornings.
What
do you wear in the mornings?
Sweats.
Yeah,
and a sweatshirt. Yeah.
I'm lucky if I've got that much on.
This adds a new dimension to your broadcast in the morning.
Paul, have you ever been told to change anything by management of any station you ever worked for?
No.
Okay.
Little more makeup so I don't scare small children.
We have a little more tape from people that you work with, just to get a little more insight into these guys. We went over and asked some people that they work with, tell us a bit about them that we might not know.
He's fun to work with. He's always smiling. He loves Minnesota. Of course, he grew up here. The one thing about Dave, we like to razz him when he botches a forecast. He's a little sensitive about that. So some nights on the set, we like to say, hey, Dave, what did you say about the weather? What was it going to be yesterday, today? And sometimes if he gets it wrong, he gets a little sensitive.
As far as Dave Dahl is concerned, he's just as genuine and funny and down to earth off camera as he is on. In fact, he really takes it to heart when his forecast is wrong, which very seldom happens.
My favorite Dave Dahl story was once when he was doing a backyard barbecue from a softball tournament. He was showing this great hamburger, and he decided to take a bite out of it. Well, the next thing he knew, it got stuck in his throat. Dave fell down on his knees, and we thought we lost Dave forever. But like all good weathermen and all good Saskatchewan screamers, he was able to make a comeback. So Dave didn't choke that time. He choked later when he played softball, by the way. Bases loaded, struck out. It was awful.
Good job.
And we have a little surprise. We have Audrey and Norman Dahl, Dave's parents here, who came from where?
Marine on St. Croix.
Okay.
Big Marine Lake.
Now, tell us what he was like as a kid. Are you surprised he went into TV?
Yes, very surprised. Yeah. He was on radio first, and then he was asked to be on TV.
All right.
And what I remember about Dave is when they won the conference championship in basketball. And I think I embarrassed him some when I would yell for him and cheer him on.
Is it true?
The soft-spoken guy that he is right now, you would not believe him when he is cheering. For the Minnesota Twins, the Vikings, he is the loudest man. You could pick him out.
I'm a bass, so you know.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
You're proud of your son being a TV star?
Oh, sure I am. Yeah. Surely. Yeah. Yep.
Do you believe his forecast?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming down.
Mom. Thank you.
Good. Sharon?
Paul, we talked to your mom, and she said something about you got a great deal of your education in the bathroom?
What was that about?
What is that all about?
Mom really said that?
Yeah.
Hours and hours reading and other things.
Well, I used to take encyclopedias with me.
Encyclopedias?
Yeah.
Not the TV Guide, not the Reader's Digest?
No, I took encyclopedias. I think I made it up to the M's. M for meteorology. Yeah, this is it. I can do this.
Well, we went over to KARE TV and we asked some people that you work with to give us a little insight into you, and this is what they had to say.
One of the things that you probably don't realize is that Paul is a really incredible bodybuilder. Now, this is not something that he likes to publicize, but he is really, I mean, if you could see him in his bathing suit, you wouldn't believe. Isn't he a tremendous bodybuilder, Paul Douglas?
Who?
Paul Douglas.
Paul who?
Well, okay, he's the guy that does the weather at night, 5, 6, and 10, that guy.
Oh, Pee-wee.
Oh, yeah, Pee-wee, yeah. Well, I was just saying, people do not realize what an incredible bodybuilder he is.
Start that again. It's true, though, isn't it?
No, it is true, but this is a thing that people do not realize.
He works out with a guy, and people also don't realize it. He's about, what is he, 6'5 and a half, 6'6"? About 222?
I know I'm not alone when I say that I speak for the women in this newsroom, that when we hear the name Paul Douglas, we just think embodiment of masculinity. Absolutely no doubt about it. And when he opens his mouth and says thundiferous, well, we're just all puddles on the floor.
Let's tell about it, Paul, the weightlifting. Now, Paul and I share the same weightlifting coach.
That's right.
That's right.
Not at the same time, but...
No, that's right, different times.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, how do you feel about that? They're kind of ribbing you about it.
I feel better ever since John Humble has actually started working out with me. I need somebody, and we've talked about this before, to show up at my front door, you know, literally give me a kick in the butt and say, for an hour, you're going to give me your best.
Me too, and if he didn't show up, we don't do the workout.
I know, I'd read the paper, and, you know, my idea of working out on the weekends is making coffee, you know, just...
But you guys both have families, and you're working long hours. Do you worry about balance? Do you worry about having enough time for your family?
It's an ongoing dilemma, because if you let it, this job will take every waking moment of your life.
You have 2 little ones, right?
2 little boys. Walt is just about to turn 4, and Brett is 15 months.
And Dave, you're...
Yeah, I have a daughter that's 18. She just graduated, and a son that's 16. He's going into basketball now, and I'd love to watch him play basketball as my dad liked to watch me. But I think the new marriage also is something that requires a lot of time, and this job, as you two know, does take a lot of your time. Even on times when they don't see you on television, they're asking you to go out and give talks or personal appearances.
Well, that's why we married each other, so we could spend more time together.
Good
For you
idea.
two, I don't think it would have worked.
Good.
Well, congratulations on both of your success. We enjoy having you here in the Twin Cities, and you're an important part of what's going on in the air.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love my baby, so give her the best I know. Introducing Kleenex Huggies Baby Wipes. Clean like a washcloth. Huggies Baby Wipes clean, quickly clean like no others I've seen. Huggies Baby Wipes, textured to clean like a washcloth, to gently grip and clean away the mess. Huggies Baby Wipes clean, gently clean like no others I've seen.
We could give you so many reasons why our Tyson patties, chunks, and fillets are made from only pure Tyson Holly Farms chicken, or why we'd never add things like fillers or preservatives. We could give you lots of reasons, but in the end, there's really only one. Tyson patties, chunks, and fillets, feeding you like family.
You may never need Pearl's free breakage guarantee. But you never know. At Pearl, we'll repair or replace your glasses free for 1 full year, no matter how they break. Now look for Pearl's money-saving coupons. Call 1-800-YES-EYES for locations.
A cold always starts small. But before you know it, your cold is full grown. That's when you need Dimetap. If it was any stronger, you'd need a prescription. Dimetap Extend tabs work for 12 full hours. It's the way to relieve the congestion and sneezing of a full-grown cold. Maximum strength Dimetap Extend tabs. Relief for the full-grown cold. And for colds and flu with fever, now there's Dimetap Cold and Flu.
What you're looking at is a laser being used to remove a spot, a discoloration on the skin, and we're going to show you how it's used and what kinds of things in just a moment.
Wait till you see the
for instance,
effectiveness.
like
Look at
that. Can you see the difference?
I mean,
Isn't
that
that
is
amazing?
just phenomenal. The before on the left and the after on the right. And it is the latest treatment to remove these kinds of things.
Right. We have with us today Dr. Brian Zellickson, who does this kind of procedure. He's associated with Abbott Northwestern and the University of Minnesota, a dermatologist. And next to him is Polly O'Connell. Polly's had the procedure, and also Kathy Wolf is next to her. They've both had this done, and we're going to talk to them about it happened, what you had done and what it felt like as you did it. But first of all, let's start with you, Dr. Zellickson. The kinds of things that can be done.
Well, this type of laser that we're talking about today is one of 3 that are approved by the FDA to treat pigmented spots on the skin. Your freckles and some pigmented spots that we're born with called cafe au lait spots. And there's certainly some pigmented spots that we don't want to use a laser on, and you have to be very careful to treat the right ones.
Okay.
Let's take a look at some of the things it has been used on. You can comment on what they are.
These are what are called solar lentigines, and this is another little pigmented spot on the face. And these pictures are taken before treatment and then about 4 months. This is some blood vessels that are treated with the same laser, actually, on the face. And on the feet, it's some more blood vessels that are treated.
Jeez.
And on the feet, they generally don't work quite as well as on the face, as you can see here. And particularly, they work well on these types on the nose.
The broken capillary kind of look?
Yeah, the enlarged blood vessels.
Is that what they are?
It looks like it's just about 100% effective. Is that true?
Well, it's very effective. Some of the spots you need more than one treatment, particularly some of the blood vessel spots. But in treating the pigmented spots, it's usually just one treatment.
Is this an in-office procedure?
Yeah, it is an in-office procedure at the Laser Center at Abbott Northwestern. Is where we treat it.
Well, let's take a look right now at how this procedure works, and you'll see how it's done on several different kinds of spots.
This is us in the Laser Center, and we're treating a lesion on the hand. And this is a spot that is created from the sun. You can see us focusing in on the spot here, and then tracing the laser over the spot. And it's very painless when we do it. And this is another lesion of that we'll see the before and after on the leg.
And you're saying the key is not to go over the same spot again and again. You try to hit it and then move off it?
Yeah, the energy is very selective for the pigment in the skin. So we want to just give it a light shot and let the energy do its work.
And it's an in-office procedure?
Correct.
Okay. Let's meet our guest. We have Polly O'Connell, who had a lesion in her right lower eye. What did you call it?
It looked more like a large freckle in my lower right eye area.
Is this you've had your whole life?
Yeah.
Okay, now you can see, well, that isn't really too noticeable.
No, it wasn't like a big, large, anything that bothered me a whole lot, but
look
it's
at that.
gone, yeah.
Totally gone. Does it go away right away, or does it scab and drop off, or how does that work?
Well, it usually takes about 2 weeks for the lesion to kind of crust up a little bit and then to fall off.
Okay.
Crust up, that's a much better word.
Also, we have Kathy Wolf with us now. Kathy had a light brown spots on your leg. Tell us about it.
That's correct, and like many other people our age, I became concerned about skin cancer, so my internist recommended Dr. Zelikson. And
you're 48? 48, so you thought it might be cancerous.
Well, just to check it out and see, and when it was described to me that it was possible to remove these types of spots, I said, let's go for it.
That's the after. You can't see a thing.
Right.
Just gone, totally.
That's right.
And how painful was it? We have in our notes here that it was a little surprising. It didn't feel the way you had anticipated.
Well, I would say a slight discomfort. It's not painful by any means.
What's the approximate cost of having, say, an age spot removed?
Well, it's pretty variable, depending really on how many you have removed and how long it's going to take. But generally, it can run anywhere from $100 to $600.
Is that cosmetic, or does insurance cover it?
Generally, for these lesions, it's cosmetic.
Okay.
You say $100 to $600. That isn't per spot, is it?
No, it's just per treatment session, and usually it just takes one session to, get rid of the pigmented spot.
Very, very interesting. Good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
From your 24-hour news channel, this is an Eyewitness News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Angela. A store in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Currently, it's 32 degrees in the Twin Cities. President Bush today laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. On this Veterans Day, he said the nation owes a special debt to veterans of the Persian Gulf War. And vaccines designed to protect people from the AIDS virus will be tested on humans in 4 countries. Please join us for more news later.
I've been someplace wonderful. Regency's Caribbean. I saw things I thought I'd find only in my dreams. Ancient Mayan ruins. Sunsets in the French West Indies. The mist rising over the Panama Canal. There are lots of things to see in the Caribbean.
Now, 2 passengers cruise for the price of 1, including airfare at Hobbit Travel, the experts in cruise and vacation savings.
Stay tuned for a new free offer from your Culligan man.
Culligan improves the quality of the water that works throughout your home. And the quality of the water you drink. With water conditioning and drinking water systems you can feel good about. Right now, get a free $100 Culligan drinking water system when you buy a Culligan water conditioner. But hurry, offer ends soon. So call your participating Culligan man.
Hey, Culligan man!
In the white pages.
Repeating this free offer from Culligan. Call your Culligan man now, because if you purchase any Culligan Mark Series water conditioner for famous Culligan Soft Water, you'll receive a free Culligan Series 101 system for drinking water. Call now, toll-free, 800-333-6603.
Hey, Culligan man!
Hurry, this offer ends soon.
You want a career in office technology? Well, do it right.
Do it at the Minnesota School of Business.
Or Globe College of Business.
Good jobs are available in word processing and microcomputer applications. Don't miss your opportunity for employment in business and government. Do it right. Call the Minnesota School of Business or Globe College of Business today, 924-3300.
It's the best call I ever made.
Well, this is it. This is your opportunity to decide what couple is going to be host for a day and take our jobs this coming Thursday. And they're going to audition right now, and you have a chance to vote. We'll tell you in a minute how to do that.
Right, so we're going to introduce each of the couples to you, and then you watch them do the hint and also listen to them, and then a little bit later on you're going to decide who will have our jobs this coming week.
But
right?
first, it is super bargain time.
That's right, and this is from two guys from Italy. They have great pizza. It's award-winning pizza, by the way. They have two locations, one in Edina and one in White Bear Lake. And you have a chance to get their large pepperoni pizza. Normally runs $10.80. There's a limit of 2 pizzas per customer so that everyone can be served more efficiently. This deal applies to carry-out only. Two Guys from Italy has 2 locations. As I said, White Bear Lake, that's on Highway 61, and also France Avenue South in Edina. That's their newest location. You must ask for the Good Company Super Bargain. Get those pizzas today and tomorrow, half price.
So it was just last week we announced we were looking for couples to audition to be hosts for a day and take our jobs. Now, interestingly enough, we said couples, we expected we'd get mostly married couples. Not true. Half of our couples that auditioned were married, and the other half were friends, relatives, all kinds of things. Exactly, brothers and sisters. Yeah. And you are going to see our 3 finalists in just a moment. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at our auditions.
Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Karen.
And this is Good Company.
And there's the gravy. Well, it's not heated, but it'd be really nice and...
There are no lumps in the gravy.
Really, there is no lumps in the gravy, trust me. And this? Turkey cookie.
Turkey cookie.
Throughout this holiday season, nothing is quite as shameful or as horrible as a poorly prepared snack tray.
Marianne Twiddlebottom relates a terrifying experience she had with some unwieldy Gouda cheese that she sent us in this letter.
Voila. Dental floss.
You want me to floss my teeth?
No, I don't want you to floss your teeth. We're going to cut the cake with this.
Oh.
So there you have it, a fun and festive way to add a nice touch to your holiday table. You can see here, too, a Christmas variation by simply adding some branches and some Christmas tones. Thanks.
So what we like to do is we like to take a little dishcloth and moisten it and just open your bag of apples and, oh, there's one too many. Well, I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. You tuck it in there so it stays wet. With the extra one, you can go ahead and chomp on that one right away.
No.
Yeah, just give it a twizzle around and serve it to your guests. They'll think it's so cute. And that's our household hint.
And you guys can eat the fudge if you'd like. You know. I didn't say, you know, and it also works very good for PMS, but I didn't know if I should say that or not.
Stay with us. Coming up next, cooking for The Bachelor.
All right, everybody was really good sports to be part of this, and now you're going to meet our finalists, and when we're done with this, you can vote by calling in. All right, finalist number 1. These are friends, Annie Shaw and Brenda Hoven. Annie and Brenda work together as aerobics instructor at the YMCA in Shoreview. Annie is a wife and mom of 2 boys, and Brenda has 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, and here they are doing their household hint.
Now, have you ever come to 5 o'clock and you don't know what you're going to make for dinner? Well, Brenda's got a great idea to help that.
Now, menu planning is something that sounds really boring to me, and I've never taken the time to sit down and do it. But, like Annie says, when 5 o'clock comes around, help, help, I'm panicking. So what I did was I took just a spare calendar that I had lying around the house, and I started jotting down what we did have for dinner. So by the time I ran through my repertoire of recipes that were common around our house, I was able to flip back and say, now here, we haven't had these for a while. So I just pick up those items, I'd add them to this, my grocery list, and we would be set for the week.
Another variation of that is just to put it on recipe cards and put it on your refrigerator.
Does that mean time is up? Yes.
Okay, come on over. By the way, we are timing this so everybody gets a pretty equal chance and time to present themselves. Annie and Brenda.
Hi.
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 So both of you are fitness instructors. How do you motivate people to get them to work out and come in consistently?
Great music, recognize them, look for them, greet them when they come, say, where were you last week?
Knowing their names really helps, and being really cheerful, and we kind of try to be friends with them when they come so they feel like they know us and that we're really looking for them when they get there.
And Annie, you also get a kick out of being a clown. You have been a clown once or twice. Yeah, what's the most fun part of that?
Well, I like to go to camps and churches and places and dress up, and especially going in the car, people look and wave and they start yelling, give me a balloon. People get happy when they see someone trying to be kooky to try to promote happiness.
We're in the car.
Okay.
Good luck. All right, now you're about to meet two sisters who are also best friends, Kelly and Diana. Kelly McDonald is from Anoka. She is the mother of 2 girls, and she's a homemaker. And her sister, Diana Kettler, is also a homemaker. She's from Ramsey. She's a mother of 2. And she runs a small business out of her home with her husband. And here they are, Diana and Kelly.
Go ahead.
Hi. Today we're going to introduce, I'm Diana, this is Kelly. We're going to introduce to you some tips on saving on your dusting. What Kelly's done is feather dusting sometimes is too big, the rag is too bulky, and what she's done is come up with a new way to do it to save time. And I think we all have a little bit better things to do than to dust, like eat bonbons and watch good company. So,
what I do is I use an ordinary blush brush, and I guess it works for me to get into like the nooks and crannies, and I can dust around the items if they're, you know, fairly expensive and you really don't want to be touching them. And that's what I do to save time.
Here's the bell.
Come on over, gang. Kind of took you by surprise, but we're timing them.
So
it can only go so long, yeah.
So tell us, what is the secret of being best friends with your sister?
Well, I would have to say we've been, on our interview I called us partners in crime because we've been together for, you know, all our lives, and we were just drawn together, I think, by problems when going through the teen years and, you know, early on, so, and we've just always been together. So.
And Kelly, I read that you are 27 years old and your husband is 52.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. Actually, I'm 28, he's 51. We have the same birthdays.
Okay.
We're 23 years to the day apart.
All right. How does that work?
We've been together 10 years, so it isn't so bad now. In the beginning, though, it was crazy working everything out with the age difference, but we just worked through it.
Yeah.
And we do great together.
All right. Well, good luck.
Good.
Kelly and Diana.
Now it's time for finalist number 3. We have Jean and Mike Antonello. Now, this is our married couple. They've been married for 18 years, but they're from New Brighton. Jean was a nurse. She's authored a weight loss book. Mike was a violinist, and he works with an insurance operation. They have 3 kids.
Thank you.
We're going to talk today about just a simple but very creative way to get red wine out of your carpeting. If you spill it during the holidays, there's kind of an interesting solution to this. First off, we're going to pour ourselves a holiday toast.
We recommend starting with the red wine because the helpful hint is that you get it out with white wine. Start your guess with red wine.
Save the white wine for
Marvelous
last.
party, darling.
Thank
Super.
you.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. What
Heavenly
have we done?
days, we've got to get something quickly. This is white wine. This is our surrogate white wine. It's not really, but you just douse the stain quickly, as soon as possible, in fact, and blot it up with beaucoup de towel.
Now, we recommend using DARE-approved libations for your holiday season.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Fill again.
You have a little advantage there, right?
That's
right. Now, it says here that you guys were engaged 10 days after you met, and you've been married for 18 years.
How did you find that out?
I told them.
Is that right?
So you just knew instantly, or what?
We kind of did. It was kind of a whirlwind thing. Mike was playing at the Golden Strings down at the Radisson Hotel. He's a violinist, and I was a senior at University of Minnesota School of Nursing, and we bumped into one another, and we got to know each other, went on a couple of dates.
If you want to know the truth, I prayed for a girlfriend and got more than I bargained for.
Way more.
A wife.
Okay, good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now's the opportunity that you have to vote for our host for a day couple. Remember, the voting is going to take place today until 5 o'clock, so you do have 2 hours to call in. Again, there were 3 couples. The first couple was Annie and Brenda.
And couple number 2, Diana and Kelly.
And couple number 3, Jean and Mike.
When you call in, just use the numbers. You don't have to remember the names. Just vote for couple number 1, number 2, or number 3.
One of these 3 couples is going to host the show, and we'd like to thank everyone who entered. They're all great sports. Good luck, and please give us a call.
Kmart has changed a lot since we opened our first store 29 years ago. But nothing we have ever done compares to the changes we're making now. We're changing the way Kmart looks, feels, and acts, with more brand names, new store designs, and improved service.
What about cosmetics?
We understand you want to feel good about where you shop.
Good. I think that's great.
So we're doing everything it takes to make you love your new Kmart.
It's not that I just started gaining weight after I got married or after I had babies. This has been a lifelong problem. I lead a different lifestyle now because of Jenny Craig. The personal counseling was wonderful because they dealt with the very problems and the issues that I needed to face. A year ago, I met my goal, and my son grabbed my hand and he said, "Mom, Jenny would be proud."
Join our half-price holiday special. Just a $49.50 program fee. Call The Connection, 922-9000.
For the largest selection of carpet and linoleum, for the lowest prices, better see C-Stats. C-Stats is Minnesota's oldest name in floor covering and carries all major brands of carpet and linoleum. Browse through C-Stats' walls and walls of carpet and linoleum with thousands of colors and styles to choose from. Better yet, C-Stats also has thousands of remnants at an amazing 40 to 80% off all year round. For the largest selection of flooring at the lowest prices, better see C-Stats, 1.5 blocks east of Gaultier Plaza in Lower Town, St. Paul.
The Bundys take in a boarder.
Where are they going to sleep?
Well, what's the garage for? Bud is overjoyed.
What a break. Getting a 17-year-old French babe.
Peg wants to learn.
What's your country like? How was your trip? Where's our money?
And Kelly explains local customs.
First we'll meet some boys. How do we do that?
Very good children.
Tonight, after Eyewitness News on Channel 5.
The annual animated show at Dayton's 8th Floor Auditorium is just open. Gary's going to give us a preview in a moment.
First Super Bargain Time half-price deal on photos for the holidays. A family photo at Moto Photo. 4 locations in the Twin Cities. They're the largest international franchisor of one-hour photo labs. Here's the deal. 50% off their gift arrangement package. It's normally $41.90. You get an 8x10, 2 5x7s in wallet size. You have to make your appointment either today or tomorrow, but you can come in for your sitting between now and the 27th of November. There are 4 locations. Make sure when you call you're asking for the Good Company Super Bargain, and this is a great time to start thinking about those portraits.
Right, and Dayton's wants you to start thinking about Christmas, and they have their animated show up and running right now. It's called Pinochio this year. Gary?
Hi, everybody. We're at the 8th Floor Auditorium at Dayton's downtown store for their annual Christmas exhibit, where they always tell wonderful children's stories for the holidays. And this year, the story is about a piece of wood that eventually became Pinocchio. Now, we're going to take you through and give you a preview look at what Pinocchio is all about here. But before we do that, there's something else going on that I want to show you. Even before you get inside Dayton's, this is what you'll see in the windows on the Nicollet Mall side of the store. For the first time since 1964, window shoppers can enjoy animated windows celebrating the holiday season. Yes, animation like this has been brought back to these windows in a theme called Holiday in the Cities, which depicts Twin Cities landmarks and traditional winter scenes. And well, with winter arriving early this year, when you add it all together, it definitely creates a real warm holiday atmosphere. Oh, yes, indeed. The windows are really cute. It's nice to see that they've brought them back. And, of course, it's always great to see what they have done on the 8th floor auditorium. This year, of course, the story is Pinocchio, the story of the little wooden puppet created by the woodcarver Geppetto. Geppetto, of course, wanted a little boy, and he made a little wooden puppet to kind of be a little boy. But then by magic, the wooden puppet came to life, and Geppetto had his son. As Geppetto says goodbye to Pinocchio on his way to school, he warns him to be good and do all the kinds of things, and Pinocchio has his books there and on his way to school. But what happens then? Well, here's where Pinocchio begins to go astray. He runs into a little bit of a carnival scene here, and the next thing you know, he is so caught up in the carnival, he sells his books and joins up. But that just kind of started him off on his wayward way, because you see, instead of being a good student in school like this, Pinocchio found himself hanging out with the bad boys. That's right, boys that were idle. And he soon began to tell stories, and this is what happens when you tell stories: your nose grows. By hanging out with the idle boys, terrible things start to happen to him and all of the other boys. They start drinking and smoking and playing cards, and, well, they become donkeys. This is the worst. This is the worst. Oh, but wait. Things definitely get worse, because you see, Geppetto goes to look for Pinocchio. He's out lost with the lost idle boys, and what happens to him? Well, Geppetto gets swallowed by a giant whale. That's right. Geppetto gets swallowed by a whale like this, and then what happens? It's just something you'll have to find out for yourself when you come down here and, wait a minute. Here's a kid. Okay, Geppetto's been swallowed by a whale. Pinocchio's turning into a donkey. Is it going to be okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know? What do you think's going to happen? It's hard to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it going to be okay? Come on.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, and you're sure too?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think you get the consensus here. They got the feeling that everything's going to be okay. And I'll tell you that you're probably right about that. And you'll just have to find out for yourself. As I said, come down to the 8th floor auditorium here at Dayton's and see Pinocchio and all the wonderful animation. It's free from now through December 31st. And with that, I'll just say see you next time. But watch out for giant whales. That's a clue. Who?
Hello?
Hi, honey. I just checked in.
How was the flight?
Bad food, good movie.
I miss you.
I miss you, too.
I feel so alone when you're not here.
Did you lock all the doors and turn on the ADT system?
Yep.
The last thing a burglar wants to see. ADT helps protect your home and family 24 hours a day, every day of the year, by linking your home to an ADT customer service center. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO. For a small monthly fee and one-time installation charge, our SafeWatch system can help protect your home against break-ins, fire, and medical emergencies. Help protect your home. Help protect your peace of mind. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO.
I'll see you at home tomorrow night, then. I love you both.
We love you, too. We'll be here.
ADT, we're home even when you're not.
ADT SafeWatch for as little as $19.95 per month. And for a limited time, only $195 for installation.
If you want the best car in America, buy a new Cadillac.
And if you want the best deal in the Twin Cities, see Wally McCarthy's. Choose a 91 Sedan DeVille or Fleetwood. Get $2,000 cash back plus closeout savings. Or choose a 92 Special Event Cadillac used in the Prudential Securities Tennis Tournament and save thousands. Choose any new Cadillac and we'll give you a cellular phone. Wally McCarthy's Cadillac in Roseville.
Hi, I'm Regis Philbin.
And I'm Kathy Lee Gifford.
Just wait till you hear who's coming up on the next line.
They don't have to wait. We're here to tell them right now.
You're right again. On the next live, we'll take you behind the scenes at All My Children, and maybe, just maybe, we'll give you a sneak preview of our appearance on that hit soap.
So, Regis, darling. Oh, I can call you Regis, can't I?
Plus, the beautiful Susan Lucci joins us, and Suzanne Summers, too.
Hey, after that, even I can't wait.
So be sure to join us for Live.
See it today at 4 here on Channel 5.
We have a Thursday great super bargain for you today, and this is a chance to eat out at Rack's Restaurants. Rack's Restaurants are offering their regular roast beef combo. That's what they look like, and there are several locations around the Twin Cities that are participating. The deal is 50% off their regular roast beef combo. It's a regular-sized roast beef sandwich, medium-sized fries, and medium soft drink of your choice. Combo deal normally sells for $3.57, but today and tomorrow you can get it for half price. Rack's locations, Burnsville, Anoka, Roseville, and Brooklyn Park. And as always, you must ask for the Good Company Super Bargain. That's how you'll get that roast beef sandwich half price. Steve?
As you probably know, today is Veterans Day. There was a big parade yesterday in St. Paul. That's the first parade on Veterans Day in quite some time. Today, Mike Brunswick is going to tell us a story of one of the veterans. It is a story of war and giving. Here's Mike.
On June 16, 1990, Lieutenant Susan Clark of the 109th Aeromedical Evacuation Flight of the Minnesota National Guard swore in her 17-year-old son as a member of the Air Guard as well. Susan has been a single mother all of his life.
So it was a new proudness for me. Hey, I'll follow my footsteps maybe.
They are footsteps she is proud to have made. In civilian life, Susan Clark is a nurse at St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center. It is an honorable career she chose a long time ago. But she also has a part-time career that has evolved into a real source of pride. She's been practicing her nursing skills as a member of the Air National Guard for nearly 2 decades. And when the United States began sending troops to the Persian Gulf, she volunteered.
Oh, I had to go see for myself that what I was training for, there was a purpose, there was a reason behind it.
And by 4:45 p.m. on August 31st, she and the others were on their way, having no idea of what they were getting into. On Sunday, September 2nd, they arrived in Germany. It was cold, wet. Less than 24 hours later, they were arriving in Saudi Arabia, where it was 138 degrees. And she says, "Can't you tell by my expression?" Although some days it got a little cooler. During the Desert Shield pre-war days, they did everything to fight off boredom, including 2 weeks of R&R at a hotel in Riyadh. Nice pool, but only men were allowed to use it. Volleyball helped pass the time, and so did golf. This is the putting brown. The local hazards of this course: snakes, scorpions, and camel spiders. As for the camels themselves, she wrote, they stink and snort and have lots of flies swarming around them. A Minnesota girl in the desert. It was hot, it was hard. The highlight of her days were the packages from home. Susan Clark spent a total of 5.5 months in this land far away from home. Much of her days were spent killing time. But the boredom turned to fear on the night of January 16th, 1991, when she heard a different kind of killing had begun, the real kind. This was war.
As long as I live, I'll never forget their eyes. How tired and exhausted they looked, how thankful they were for us just being there, just picking them up and bringing them back, and how proud they looked.
When Desert Shield turned into Desert Storm, everything intensified. But after all that happened during those unforgettable months, the one thing she remembers most about Desert Storm was coming home.
Coming home. Walking across the red carpet at Westover. All these strange people clapping, shaking your hand, hugging you. I lost it halfway down the red carpet. I remember hanging on to one gentleman, and he's patting me on the back as I'm crying. And I'm saying, don't let go yet, I'm not done.
Susan Clark, now Captain Susan Clark, has made her niche in history. She's home again, working as a civilian nurse again. But things are different. She can sense it in her gut.
Personally, that makes me feel proud. Free to be me. That means something here. like in the song Stand Tall, Stand Proud.
Stand tall, stand proud, stand proud. Voices that care are crying out loud. And when you close your eyes tonight, feel in your heart how our love burns bright. You are the voice and the guiding light. Feel in your heart how our love burns
Jack and Mary are newlyweds. Mary is learning the joy of cooking. Jack is learning diplomacy.
Is everything all right, dear?
Yes, dear.
It's a shame our newlyweds don't know about down-home dinners from Perkins. Wholesome dinners served in hearty portions, just like Mom used to make when you lived at home.
Honey, have you seen my earring?
Down-home dinners from Perkins. They're just like eating at home, only not at home.
Check out these terrific values I got at Walgreens today. Legs pantyhose are on sale. 2 pair for just $3. That's a great price. These big bottles of Listerine and Listerman give me 6 extra ounces free. They're only $2.99 each. And these Caboodles organizers will make great gifts. Plus, I'll get a $5 rebate on each one. Walgreens has the values I'm looking for. And the gift ideas I need.
For a lot more Christmas, shop Walgreens.
Of all the tough opponents I've faced, none's been tougher than pain. Smelly old-fashioned liniments never helped much, but today's trainers have something that works. Aloe vera-based Flexall 454. When one pain-relieving gel is endorsed by the athletic trainers in pro football, baseball, basketball, and hockey, you know it's the best. Sidelined with pain? Get back in the game. With Flexall, it's a winner. Flexall, the pain relief pro trainers recommend.
Here in our audience, Debbie McPherson is to tell us about a special celebration coming up with the Junior League of St. Paul.
This is an annual event, and it's a two-parter. It starts on Summit Avenue. 15 artisans come in and decorate a house from top to bottom, including Craig Olson, and he's a delight. Then we switch over to the Blair Arcade at Selby and Western, and there are dozens of people that come in and display their work. So whether you're buying or looking, it's wild, it's fun.
All right.
You start out at Blair Arcade and take a free shuttle over to Summit.
Okay, and that's going on this weekend.
Yes,
Right.
the tickets can be purchased right at the boutique at the Blair Arcade.
Great. There's the number to call if you want some more information. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Debbie.
Tomorrow, advice on what to do if your best friend's husband is having an affair. And Gary ambushes deer hunters for a beauty makeover. Do you love it? That's tomorrow. See you then.
Bye-bye.
It's getting late. I better call my mom. Me too. Hi, Mom. Yo, Ma. Oh, we're having chicken and stovetop stuffing tonight? We're having stovetop instead of potatoes? With the celery and onions? Herbs and spices? What time? 6? At 8. Oh, Ma, could Pete come over? Mom, why don't I invite Bob? Yeah? All right, thanks a lot. Bye. Yeah!
You can never get enough stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes. Try stovetop microwave stuffing, specially made for the microwave.
Awaken to the freshness of Far. Just a drop of Far shower gel pampers your entire body with a satiny lather. Its rich emollients and moisturizers leave your skin silky soft. And the gentle scent of its unique fragrances will invigorate you throughout the day. Which is why Far is Europe's favorite shower gel. Far, freshness you can feel. Far shower gel, foam bath, and luxury soap are available at these fine stores.
Vikings Sports Wrap, tonight at 7 here on Channel 5. From your 24-hour news channel, this is an Eyewitness News Update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angela Storr, live in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Currently, it's 32 degrees in the Twin Cities. In the news this hour, President Bush today helped commemorate Veterans Day at Arlington National Cemetery. State officials and Northwest Airlines announced agreement today on a plan to build maintenance facilities in Duluth and Hibbing. And the Vikings face the Bears tonight. A pregame special begins at 7 o'clock with kickoff at 8 right here on Channel 5. More news later.
Coming up next, it's Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. Today, we'll try to get Richard Dean Anderson to finally reveal some of MacGyver's mystical, mysterious secrets that he's...
Honda reliability. Truly is a safe place to put your money.
There's something new, you're gonna love it. From KFC, it's called the Gold Bucket. Pick any kind, just $5.99. At KFC, it's Gold Bucket time.
Hey, Minnesota, get an 8-piece Go Bucket for $5.99. Or for a limited time, get twin Go Buckets just $9.99. Get 16 pieces of original recipe or extra tasty crispy chicken, only $9.99. Twin Go Buckets, just $9.99. Ends November 17th. Nobody's cooking like today's KFC.
Give me 3 soaps, give me 3 soaps, Spirit. Give me 3 soaps, all in one. Give me 3 soaps, give me 3 soaps, Spirit. 'Cause I love what you have done.
New Spirit's a whole new kind of soap because it works like a cleansing bar, a deodorant bar, and a moisturizing bar all in one.
Give me 3 soaps, give me 3 soaps, Spirit. Give me 3 soaps, all in one.
New Spirit. It's like 3 soaps in one.
This KARE 11 update is being brought to you in part by Walgreens. From your 24-hour news station, this is KARE 11 News and Weather on the Hour.
Good evening, I'm Paul Majors. Currently in the Twin Cities, it's 10 degrees. Basketball superstar Magic Johnson has tested positive for HIV, the virus that leads to AIDS. Tonight at 10, we'll hear Magic's dramatic announcement that he made in Los Angeles today and have reaction to it as well. Also, a Twin Cities family narrowly escapes death in their own home. We'll have those stories and more tonight on KARE 11 News at 10.
Previously on LA Law.
You have no respect for my client, Your Honor. You